There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. I'm taking you on the walk to my local station. I decided I'm not going to put it in the show notes because I don't really want people Googling me that way and stalking me. No compunction about saying it. Sasazuka Station. And this will be kind of a vlog Friday Reads, because I don't really have much to say that I didn't kind of already natter on about in my vlog a couple days ago. So I'll just take you to the station and show you kind of my neighborhood, and then sit down and have a little chat. I wish the iPad you could just switch the lens orientation from back to front without pausing the filming, but maybe you can and I'm too stupid to know how to do it. So we're coming up to what's traditionally known as a shopping street called Shotengai, which is, you guessed it, a street, usually narrow street with lots of shops and bars and restaurants, and the emphasis is on kind of traditional, old-fashioned rather than newfangled bright lights, big city type of ambiance. So here we are. There is a Kushiage restaurant I've been to a time or two. This is where I do my coin laundry. Can you read katakana? Coin laundry. And here is a slice of Japan, a restaurant I've never ever been to. Hairdresser. I don't have enough hair to bother going there. This is where I go for a $10 haircut. And did you notice I got one the other day? My haircut is called Ichi Mili. 1 millimeter. Ichi means 1. Ichi Mili. This is a little, I'm not sure if it's an altar, but this is where Japanese people regularly stop in the middle of their busy day and ring this little gong and do a short prayer about their family. And maybe, I don't know, make some wishes and tie them there. I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't know anything about Japanese culture. I just live here. What else? Staya, DVD and CD rental store. La la la. He was cute. This is an old-style Japanese coffee shop called a kisaten, and they make the best coffee in Japan. It's very expensive. It's about, at minimum, $5 a cup, or more like $7 a cup, but it's so good. And it's one of the few places in Japan, if you go to a kisaten, that you can actually get a big enough table where you're not sitting right up against the next guy. So if you want some space, it's worth the money. I don't go there that often, but it's nice for a change. Okay, we're coming up to Sasazuka Station very soon. This is Friday about 11 a.m. I believe. I didn't even check it. Oh my goodness. This is a fairly new shopping center that went up a couple of years ago that has almost nothing in it that I'm interested in, except there's one takeout food place that I get there, tamagoyaki, which is basically Japanese omelet. which I eat for breakfast with cheese toast 2 or 3 times a week. I'll show you that. This is a $3 store. This is the place. I'm blanking on the name for bento. There's the bento shop. I'll just show you all this stuff. The only thing I ever buy here is these. 2 pieces or 1 piece or whole roll. People are starting to look at me funny. Time to go. Another bento shop here. Lots of food, another kind of cheap goods store. Health food store, never go there. Candy shop. I should probably slow down. You guys might be more interested in this than I am because you don't live here. The stores upstairs are really deeply uninteresting to me. So we're now exiting the shopping center. One of the famous coffee chains in Japan is called Dottor, which is a French name. And this is one. We have 2 at Sasazuka. There's their logo. I hate this one because this is total Japanese scrunched up against each other seating. Just, I hate it. Look at it. There's no place where you can have, the ones at the back have the most space and they're still too cramped for me. So I like the one on the other side. So this is Sasazuka Station. I have no idea whether audio is picking up. I have lived here for 8 years. This is my home. And we've caught it, hey, here's a couple ladies in kimono, or I guess yukata, which are less ornate than kimono. This can be it's a small station, but it can be really busy. I've caught it at a quiet moment. There's a new vegetable shop that just opened a few months ago, and the vegetables are half price compared to the supermarket. So I love this shop. Take on a little tour. You may know about daikon, the Japanese radish. It's sure nothing like a Western radish, is it? I don't like it very much, but it's just kind of meh. It's Japanese. I don't know what any of this is. I like cooking, but I don't do very much Japanese cooking. I mostly cook Western style. Those are Japanese turnips. Japanese cabbage are about 1,000 times more delicious than North American cabbage. They have a sweetness to them. I grew up not hating, but just finding cabbage to be one of the most bland, uninteresting vegetables ever, and Japanese cabbage, I can't get enough of it. This is it's kind of like an import food store, so I do a lot of shopping here. They have some nice wine for cheap and import candies, cookies, mixes, teas, coffees, you name it. It's called Kaldi. I've got one of those here, including one of my main go-to ingredients in cooking. Well, they don't have it out right now, but mushrooms, Campbell's mushroom soup. I use in a lot of recipes, and they usually carry it, but they don't have it here. Okay, I'm going to stop in a minute, but this is my favorite cafe in the world, actually. I have spent almost as much time in this cafe in 8 years as I have in my apartment when I wasn't sleeping. Excelsior. It's also a Japanese chain, and it has the most comfortable seating. I love, these are fairly new chairs from the last 2 years, but I have a bad back. I haven't mentioned that yet, but these chairs just hit me right. They don't look particularly comfortable, but they hit my back just right, and I can sit for hours. But even before that, even before my back got so bad, I love this place. You can see there's maybe you can't really tell, but there's a smoking room over there. So I spent the first 5 years in there, And now I'm out here in the non-smoking. I love this cafe. I probably spend 4 to 5 hours a week at least here. Japanese donut shop. The donuts are wonderful. The plain ones. I love the plain ones. They're just to die for. One of my pet peeves about Japan is they don't have public seating. Almost none. So, you know, I have done some filming sitting on a little bench. It's one of maybe 5 such benches in this whole area. And that's actually quite a lot. Most areas in Tokyo have no public seating. If I were the emperor, Coffee Thursday, if I were the emperor, I would, like, why are there not benches all along here, right? So many, has more old people per capita than any other industrialized country, and no place for people to sit. It's not done. It drives me crazy. And it's because I have a bad back and I need to sit down quite often, so I'll carry on. Oh, Sasazuka got a new steak restaurant. It just opened. I went there for the first time 3 days ago. I love steak. And they have a 300-gram steak that's just delicious. It's a little too small for me. I prefer 500-gram. But this is it. Oh, I can smell it. This is bad. Because I haven't had lunch. So I hope Kenji will go there with me for lunch on Sunday. Again. Okay, now heading from Sasazuka Station, I'm taking you on the road that leads directly to where I do all of my filming. How's this for a piddly river? This is more a rivulet. So I've lived in Sasazuka for 8 years, and I've lived in 4 different apartments. One was a guest house, but 3 apartments, and that's a story for another day. But I'm leaving the apartment I'm in now next spring, and Kenji and I will get a place together. And it probably won't be in Sasazuka. I think we have a line on an apartment in Kichijoji. Thought just occurred to me, what if my one little bench that I love is occupied? I can lug all this stuff all the way home and do it at home. Today's going to be a beautiful sunny day, and then we're going to have at least 3 days of rain non-stop, including perhaps another typhoon. So this is my big chance. So I hope the bench is available. Suspense, suspense, suspense. Now there is this bench. Yeah, there's somebody sitting there. God damn it. See, this bench is available, but it's too sunny. I hate the sun, so that is out of the question. Oh no, somebody's bike is there, but she's not sitting there, so that's great. That is fantastic. This bench is under a tree, which is why the birds always poop on me. And it's available. So before I turn this off, I'll show you my equipment. This is my expensive mic that I bought back when I thought I was going to do a podcast. It's what do you call it? Blue something? I don't know. It's very famous. Works good. And this is a little clamp thingy that was $10 on Amazon, and I clamp it like so, and then I can move the arm. It bends, it's bendy, and set the iPad up. But it's already almost broken, so it's on its last legs. Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac, and if you've been watching me regularly, this is the 4th video I've made. I think it's probably not going to be the 4th to go up, it might be the 2nd, but anyway, taking advantage of a beautiful late morning on a Friday to sit outside. It might be one of the last that I get before it gets too cold to do it. The lady whose house I'm sitting near, I'm not going to show you, that would be rude, but her lights are on, she's home, and I'm looking through her living room window, and it's a big living room, and the wall is covered with books. So now I want to meet her and talk to her. What are all those books? I don't know, I guess when I've been here before, it's been dark, or just haven't noticed, but what a inviting living room. So I don't have much. You'll have got the my little walking tour of Sasazuka already, and I don't really have much to say. I'm gonna. Boy, we sure got a lot of airplanes at the moment. I don't have much to add. I'm not gonna run through every book. I'm just gonna give you some of the highlights in my vlog. Now I'm gonna have to always say it both ways, aren't I? I have to say it the correct way, vlog, just so you know that I'm not an idiot, but now it's kind of become this thing for me that I first said it as vlog. So in my vlog the other day, taking you through my Tuesday, near the beginning I talked about Cosy, because I'm seeing everybody use Cosy in a way that I wasn't familiar with on BookTube. Cozy book and things like that. So I made a comment about it, and I wasn't being bitchy. I'm kind of an old fogey, and language does change. But Remembered Reads made a comment that's talking about cozy mysteries, and I had heard that too and had forgotten. Affectionately known as cozies, so I guess this is where the cozy book thing comes from. So subgenre of crime fiction in which sex and violence are downplayed or treated humorously, and the crime and the detection take place in a small, socially intimate community. Cozy. Okay, cozy neighborhood. Yeah, the more I think about it, it does have a broader meaning. Remembered Reads said she associated it with old people, and I was associating these other meanings with young people. I made a joke that that's because she's so much younger than me. What's old for her is young for me, but that was just being flippant. But no, I was mainly used to thinking about a cozy room, a cozy bed, a cozy blanket, anything that confines or encloses you in some way. A tea cozy encloses the teapot. But there are these other meanings that I just hadn't been really paying attention to, but they seem to be very prevalent on BookTube. So I looked up in the Oxford Dictionary online, and the first meaning they give is giving a feeling of comfort, warmth, and relaxation. The flickering lamp gave the room a cozy, lived-in air. Well, there's a confined space of room, right? So that I get. Or of a relationship or conversation, intimate and relaxed, a very cozy little chat. Yeah, I get it. I wasn't used to hearing it, but it makes sense. Not seeking or offering challenge or difficulty, complacent, a cozy assumption. Okay, not so familiar with that. And informal and derogatory, of a transaction or arrangement, beneficial to all those involved and possibly somewhat corrupt. A cozy deal. It seemed once I mentioned it on the video that I made Tuesday, then it was kind of everywhere. So I'm reading a 1958 novel by Barbara Pym, A Glass of Blessings, and damned if I didn't find this quote. And this quote comes about a page after a rather dramatic incident, which in typical Pymian style, she wrote in such a low-key way that I couldn't believe it was happening. It's the most dramatic thing that's ever happened in any Barbara Pym novel that I've read. The protagonist is visiting her married friend. They've been best friends for years, since before they were married, and her best friend's husband, the three of them are sitting watching TV after dinner in the married couple's home, and the married woman is knitting and she's listening to the TV but not watching it, and the husband reaches out and grabs the unmarried woman's hand and starts holding it. What? That was just about jumped out of my seat. Anyway, in a very low-key way, the protagonist, the unmarried lady, just pulls her hand away, and she's not shocked, she's not bothered, it's just sort of whatever. Then the three of them just keep talking, and the wife didn't notice at all. So the husband says, Funny thing happened today, he said in a rather booming voice. I was having lunch with Smollett, and he suggested a dozen oysters. Well, you know what the oyster and I think of each other. Indeed, yes, I said. I is the unmarried protagonist. Indeed, yes, I said, for Harry and I had both been poisoned by oysters, and had many times exchanged cozy reminiscences about our dreadful experiences. So there's cozy again, and that would be intimate, relaxed. It still seems a little weird for me. Now here's one instance, the last thing I'll say about cozy is Canadian English is schizophrenic because we live on top of America, and our culture is overwhelmed by American culture, media, and whatnot. In fact, there was a contest in a Canadian magazine 20 or 30 years ago to complete the phrase, as Canadian as ... And the winning entry was, as Canadian as possible under the circumstances. Now that is Canadian culture in a nutshell. And historically, we have come from British culture, so our English is a mix of both. And I noticed, I didn't know this, I'd never noticed this, that the Americans spell cozy with a Z. There's another difference, right? And Z or Z. And the Brits with the S. I think Canada, I think it's always with an S in Canada. Anyway, okay, enough about cozy. And I'm almost done here, because I really did kind of a Friday Reads on Tuesday, so there's lots more about what I was reading a couple days ago, and I don't have much to add. I read in one sitting the Japanese manga novel My Brother's Husband, and I have just put a review of that. I loved it. And if you're interested, there's a review I've just put up today or just before this. I read a couple duds, which I talk about at length on the vlog from Tuesday that I put up Wednesday. An H.P. Lovecraft, I still don't know if it's H.P. or L.P., but the Lovecraft horror novel, The Dunwich Horror, one of the worst books of my life, and definitely the worst poetry I've ever read in my life by Alice Walker. So I'm not going to add to that. I went on and on about it, and I will go on even more at length on my wrap-up. But I started one new novel, and I realized now I got too many novels on the go, so that was a mistake. But what the hell. And I was hoping to get to it this month. Johannesburg by Fiona Melrose. I've barely started it. I'm on page 10, and it's about a 260